Hello, everybody, and welcome to another special edition of Eat the Buckle, the podcast that normally puts two horror movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where we choose the loser. But this week, it's a little something different again. It's just me, your old pal Jared. I'm here solo. Scheduling conflicts once again have impaired the ability of Aaron and Josh to join me, which happens. It's summer. People are busy. Summer's winding down. Everyone's trying to make the most of their time we got left before fall, before the deadening starts. I'm looking forward to it. I love fall. I love spooky season. This is my time to shine. I thrive, baby, in this time. But I have made the most of my summer, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So sit back and relax, and for the next 15 minutes or so, I'll bring you along with me with my summer vacation report. I'll start off with a couple books. Summer reading time. At the beginning of summer, I made a list of 10 books that I wanted to read, a little challenge to myself to see if I could do it between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Happy to say I am about 100 pages into my 10th book as we sit here 4 days before Memorial Day. And you know what? I'm considering that a victory. Whether or not I finish the damn thing before Memorial Day, before Monday, I'm considering it a victory to just crack open that cover and reading the first word of the 10th book. That's it. I did it. So yay to me. Yay to literacy. The first book I'll talk about is called The Dead 11, and that is by, what's his name? I want to make sure. Jimmy Giuliano, or possibly Juliano. JJ. And it's really good. It's a good, creepy mystery, spooky story about a married couple they lose their child in a tragic accident at a young age. I think he's about 10 years old. And, the ensuing conflicts that arise in a married couple when they're dealing with such grief, and the wife especially has a hard time dealing with it, to where she thinks that she's seeing or hearing the child, and she sees written on a wall the name of an island. I can't remember the name of the island, even though I just read the book, but it's, we'll call it Coco Island is written on the wall. So she's like, I don't know what that means. This is crazy. I have no connection to this. Where did this come from? She tries to find any evidence or information she can find of this place, and it's very scarce online. What little she can find brings her to this place, this island in off Michigan, like Great Lakes somewhere. And, then it kind of turns into one of those cool Stephen King small island, big cast of characters. They all kind of have a secret to hide. She's trying to find out where this came from. Does it have some connection with her? Why she thinks she's seeing her son? What brought her here? And you get all that spookiness and small island secrets and good little mystery. It takes a while to unfold, but once you finish it, it's worth the read. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The second one that I'm reading, which is the one I'm about 100 pages into, it's called The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, who is a Native American author. I've read some of his other books, one being The Only Good Indians, which I really enjoyed. He's very good at writing horror stories as they relate to the actual atrocities that have been done to Native Americans since the inception of, the introduction, I should say, of the British colonizers, and the horrors that we've bestowed upon them. This one's no different so far. It's really cool. It's written from three different perspectives. It starts off at a man finds a journal written in 1912 by a priest. So you're kind of reading his story about finding the journal, and then you're reading the story of the priest through his journal. And in the priest journal writings, he is telling the story of a Native American from the Blackfoot tribe who has experienced some pretty crazy shit, as he tells the priest in kind of a confessional way, and then the priest relays that in his journal, which is then being relayed by the author that we're reading. So it's kind of a tertiary story level, and it gets a little confusing, especially since the Native Americans story is written in the vernacular of the Native American. That's very little hand-holding as to the world you're in. You just kind of have to get used to reading it that way. And it's very cool. It's very unique. And about where I'm at, it's taking a turn into very supernatural kind of stuff, which I won't give anything away there. But I'm so far enjoying it immensely. I've liked his other works, so I'm looking forward to finishing that up. So now we'll go through some movies that I watched this summer. I'll just go through my Letterboxd, and some of these I don't remember seeing at all. When did I watch this shit? First one, Clown in a Cornfield. Clown in a Cornfield, which Erica and I were going to see in theaters, but I had to work that day because, it wasn't in theaters very long. But it's now on Shudder. I've now seen it twice. This one surprised me a lot. It's about a small town where a clown stalks kids and kills them, teenagers. So it's a fun little slasher watching teenagers get picked off very violently. I've found out that this was based off of a young adult book series, which I didn't know that at the time. And which is surprising from what I saw. It's very violent, very graphic. So not what I would associate with a young adult book, but I won't read those. But the movie was fun. I kind of equate it to what Netflix did with the Fear Street series. They had those 3 movies that they put out a couple years ago based off Fear Street, which were ultra fucking violent, like Evil Dead style violence, which were a lot of fun. And not at all what you would associate with Fear Street R.L. Stine book series. Those are pretty watered down for kids. So I think it's kind of a good comparison there as to what Clown in a Cornfield, what I assume it is, not having read the books, what they did with the treatment of the film. Good stuff there. Check it out on Shudder. It's on other streaming stuff to pay for, but if you have Shudder, it's included with that. I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, which seems low from what I enjoyed. If Letterboxd let you do quarters, 3.25, I would do that. In fact, you know what? Right here live, this is exciting. This is history in the making. I'm moving this up to a 3.5 right now. Boom. Wow. I can't believe you just came on that journey with me. That's so exciting. Next up is a movie called, we'll just say Prom Queen while we're talking about it. That's the Fear Street movie that came out this year, just a few months ago. That one was really disappointing compared to what I had just previously said of the original 3 that came out in 2023, I believe. This one was pretty lame. Which is disappointing because who doesn't love a good prom 80s horror theme? And just it was boring. They didn't do anything cool or unexpected like they did with the first batch of movies they released. Maybe shouldn't have done it at all, or just made it a little more shocking. I don't know, but disappointing. Next up is Bring Her Back, which is the second film by the Philippou brothers. Danny and Michael Philippou, who were the team behind Talk to Me, which was kind of like the big Hereditary type prestige horror from last year that took the world by storm. I liked Talk to Me. I did. Maybe not as much as most people. I did enjoy it. I just thought there was something about it that just wasn't quite there. It just didn't go there for me. It was creepy to be sure, but it just kept going right up to the edge, and then just it was an edgelord type movie. It just didn't get you where you needed to go. Bring Her Back does that in spades. This movie is dark as fuck. There's a lot of small child violence that it shows, that it does not pull any punches on. It's scary. It's fucking gross. There were several segments where I almost, I had to look away, and that almost never happens to me. So whatever I thought their missteps were, and they did a great job with Talk to Me, don't get me wrong, but whatever for me their shortcomings were with that one, they have really overcome with this one, and I really look forward to whatever they do next. I'm glad they're sticking to horror movies. It seems they're a really good vision and voice in that realm that I look forward to seeing for years to come, whatever they do. This is about two children, brother and sister, the older brother and the younger sister, who I believe is adopted, and has visual impairment. She's nearly fully blind, and so she requires, special treatment, and their parents die, and so they, the system is about to separate them, but a woman played by Sally Hawkins, who just fantastic performance in this movie, just completely unhinged. She ends up taking them in, and she may not have their best interests at heart, if you can believe it. And the just what unfolds from there and what it devolves into is you won't see it coming. Whatever happens, even if you think you got it figured out, just what you see visually, you won't be ready for it. It's fucking dark, man, but I loved it. 4 stars on Letterboxd. Maybe I switch that to a 4 or 5. Are you guys gonna do this twice? You gonna get to experience this twice? Oh, you know what? 4 or 5. We just did it. Oh, I don't know. Something's in the air tonight. Hold on. Fucking Phil Collins. That song sucks too. It's the most over. Stop it with that bullshit. Last one I'll do. Well, one real quick one. 28 years later, fucking awesome. Go check it out. Danny Boyle is back, the third in the series. He was away in this 28 weeks later, but it's him and Alex Garland who wrote the first one, so they're teamed up again, and they kind of retcon the second one as if it never happened. So this one is their vision of what their direct sequel to 28 Days Later would be. And, I mean, you can imagine... If you liked 28 Days Later, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you. The movie's fucking incredible. You just get kind of more of that world, just an extension of what that world would look like 28 years later after the virus. And you get some really good Ralph Fiennes performance. I love when he's in a movie, and I love when he's playing an intense character in an intense role and in an intense movie. That's what you get here. Last one I'll do was one that I believe is also on Shudder. I found out about this one just from reading Fangoria, and it's called Found Footage: The Making of the Patterson Project. This one was kind of like a Uncle Peckerhead diamond in the rough for me. Erica and I watched it, and we both had a really good time with it. It's a indie filmmaker crew who wants to do a movie about the Bigfoot, and it's very much like a Spinal Tap type movie. I was trying to think of the guy's name that does Spinal Tap, and it's escaping me, but like Best in Show, that kind of comedy, like a crew just trying to make a movie, but everything's in their way, and the jokes are good, the comedy is good, And if it were just that alone, it would be a good watch, an entertaining watch that I would recommend. But then they throw in a twist, a supernatural horror twist, which is not a spoiler. They kind of make it if you watch the trailers or read anything about it. Supernatural horror twist that really it's not jarring. It's not. I mean the twist itself when it happens, the whole movie changes. So that is a little jarring. Just the genre, the vibe of it changes, but it's very seamless how they sew it into just kind of the fabric of what you've already seen with the comedy part of it. And it's really good. The scares are scary. The funnies are funny, and it's enjoyable, quite enjoyable. I believe it was on Shudder. If not, it's like $4 to rent. Worth the checkout. You could do a lot worse. There's a lot worse bullshit out there, so why not? Well, that is my 16 minutes of fame. We'll come back to you with a regular episode at some point. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We've been behind the scenes talking about possibly doing every other week, just, as schedules dictate. It's hard to work your jobs, watch 2 movies, and then set aside 2-3 hours to record, and make up stupid games and do what you gotta do, post-production, pre-production, all that shit. So it's not like a normal podcast where we can just sit down for an hour and bullshit. We gotta watch 2 movies a week. It sucks, but we love it, and we love you for listening. I don't know, maybe we take a long hiatus. Maybe we just end the goddamn thing. Who knows? Everything's on the table. Nothing is off the table. We'll figure it out, and we'll bring you along with us in whatever we decide. But if you've made it this far, I appreciate you listening this week and all weeks. And, hopefully in the future. But we'll be back at some point with something. We'll, at the very least, keep you satiated with whatever morsels we can find along the way. But until then, save some room for that. Whatever it is, whenever it is. Because you're going to eat the buckle. Promise.